Hello, and we are live with the second ever episode of the Bad Poker Podcast. My name is Chris Bean, and unlike other poker content creators, we have not been struck off this week. Joining me this week is, of course, my sidekick, Don Clementson.
Hello!
And our special guest this week is Liam Hind, otherwise known as BigLiPoker.
Hello, everybody.
So, Don, what have we got this week?
We've got... we're going to do a little recap of what happened last week and maybe what we've learned from it. I've got to hold my hands up to a mistake I made, and then we're going to get into, well, we're going to introduce Liam, and then after we introduce Liam, I think we're going to get into some news, and then maybe bring up some of our running themes, some stuff that we've been looking up on that. I know, I think Liam's got a travel horror story that he can share with us. Or two, maybe.
I've got a few. I'll be selective about the ones I share.
And then, yeah, that should be enough to keep us going for the hour, I think.
Cool. So, Liam, you're new to the poker world. Why don't you tell us about yourself?
Yeah. Well, I actually sort of first got into poker. When was it? I played first when I was 16 on a rugby tour in South Africa.
Oh, cool.
The older chaps decided to have a poker game and obviously went looking for the easy money amongst the youngster fellas on the tour. And I ended up, I think we played sort of every other night and ended up winning once and coming second a couple of times. So I was sort of got into it for a little while. And then before 18, for some stupid reason, I sort of fell out of love with it again. And then sort of during COVID, I flirted with it a little bit and then got really into it sort of 3 years ago. Started sort of looking at how the game's developed, obviously, since I first learned about it. Started playing a little bit and then watching people, and was working part-time at the time. So I was like, you know what, I'll try to find a job. Applied for a job in the industry and then ended up becoming a part-time editor for Spraggy.
Okay.
And then in a team meeting one day with like the content team, they said they needed someone to come film at EPT Paris last year. And I was like, well, I actually film as well. Went there and then, yeah, sort of followed Spraggy and some of the PokerStars guys around with a camera for every EPT and some of the sort of smaller events as well. That's sort of how I got my start. And then I did a video with Marley where I was in front of the camera for the first time around this sort of time last year in Cyprus. And then one of the guys on the team I work with was like, you know what, you're really good in front of camera. We should partner up and just make stupid videos. And yeah, released our first one in February. It went quite well. And then, yeah, continued to make content. And here we are, still being stupid in front of camera.
That's the best way to be. So, your recent videos like really popped and there's had several thousand views. Where you're the river god, essentially. How did that come about?
I can't actually remember how the first conversation happened, but we spoke about it, and then yeah, we just thought it'd be funny if there was just the idea of all online poker was just controlled by a company that were just behind the scenes, And I'm sure as everyone who's played online poker feels like there is someone behind the scenes controlling the cards at points.
Some people genuinely believe that. I mean, literally genuinely believe that.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, we just thought it was a really funny concept, and then built it out, filmed it. We didn't expect it to do as well as it did, to be honest. That was kind of a shock because obviously we're still quite new in the content world. So we were like, if it gets 20,000 views, we'll be ecstatic. And yeah, it's nearly 500,000 or something.
That's insane.
Wow. It's incredible.
And there's been quite a big reaction from some players because I saw Sefi Poker and a couple of others, like big names, like have commented on it.
No, it was really nice to see. Obviously, there's a little joke towards Fedor in there and Spraggy, and they both took the jokes very well, which is nice.
Have you still got the picture of Fedor?
Yeah, it's in my mum's house. So I keep moving because we filmed it in my dad's summer house, basically, where he's got like a little bar out there, and I just keep moving the pic. They keep telling me to take it away, and I just keep moving it and placing it in different parts of their house to see if they notice. So yeah, I've still got it.
It's a great video. I love it. There's so many great jokes packed into 2 minutes. My favourite is when you say you started off in the burn department. I think that just kills me every time. It's fantastic.
Yeah, thank you.
And you've also worked with Caitlin Clementson, who's a very funny character in herself. How was it working with her?
Yeah, no, she's great to work with. She was really accommodating, actually, because it was a bit of a struggle on the day. She was commentating at the time, and I travelled down to London. I don't live too far from London, so I travelled down specifically to film those. So we've got another piece that we've done with her that we're editing at the moment that will be coming out soon. But no, she was great to work with. Honestly, a pleasure. And yeah, as you say, she's really funny. Hard to match her energy, to be honest. She's
I can imagine.
And have you got any more collabs coming up?
We've got a couple in the pipeline. I don't really know if I should say too much because nothing's been like fully sorted out. But we're always open to collabs, and just to the nature of me working with a lot of the pros and whatever. I know quite a lot of the people, and some people have been very willing to say they'll do something with me. One I need to get on the books that it should have happened over summer was doing something with Benny Glaser. So if you're hearing this, Benny, we will get it done.
I mean that's interesting. Benny's not known to be quite an out there character.
No, I'm good friends with him. I like the guy. He's and obviously he's had an amazing summer. So I was just messaging him over the summer saying congrats and stuff, and then asked him if he'd be interested in doing something. So I think there's definitely a funny angle we could take with someone who's a wizard at mixed games like he is, and me who's barely grasped Texas Hold'em.
Well, after what we were talking about last week, Chris, you need to get him to come down with his money in an Asda bag for life.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the WSOP Europe a couple of years ago, everyone else had like Gucci bags and stuff like that. He had an Asda carrier bag from his like local Southampton Asda, I think. So
that's fantastic.
Yeah, just keeping it real. So it's been a busy week of poker this week, Dom. Have you? What have we got?
Yeah, well, as I said, first of all, I need to have some corrections and clarifications from last week. Liam might remember this because I think he was there, but during the Irish Open, I was in the Crack Den. They have various entertainments on every night, and one of them was Play Your Cards Right. And you get asked a question to begin with, and whoever gets the question right or closest to the answer gets to turn their cards over first. And the question was, in what year did the Irish Open start? I got it wrong. The other guy was closer than me. He got to go first. He completed his Play Your Cards Right, and I was out in the first round. And I got so much stick as Irish Open official reporter for not knowing when the bloody festival started. You'd have thought that those dates would have gone into my head by now, but apparently not. So when Christopher last week said that Colette won the first Irish Open in 1975, I was very confident. I think it was 50 years. And it wasn't. It was 45 years. The first one was 1980. So I'm hoping I'm hoping at long last that's gone in my head. The other thing I wanted to mention was just to say thanks to everyone for the feedback we've had. It's been great. We've not got huge numbers yet, but I think I can speak for you as saying we've had more than we were expecting. Really, we expected to be completely ignored, and we've had a really good response from people.
Yeah, I mean, I was expecting single digits. We've broken double digits. I'm happy with that. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You have to use. I can't, run out of fingers, so we can't ask for more than that. I did notice that on the YouTube channel we've got 5 subscribers and only 3 likes, which means 2 people subscribed who didn't even like the show. So if we could keep that up, I'm all for that.
I'll give my mum a ring after the podcast.
So. But yeah, no. So that's kind of my reflections on what happened last week. That and the fact that I'd forgotten how long audio editing took, especially when you haven't used Audacity for 15 years. So that was a very steep learning curve last week to get the Spotify version out. Hopefully, I'll be a bit quicker this week. Yeah, that was our story. But I believe you probably want to move on to the news now, do you?
Yeah, so WSOP Europe's been on this week, and there's been a couple of big winners. Martin Cabral has won his 5th bracelet. Controversial character. What's your opinion of Mr. Cabral?
You know what? I don't mind him. Mm-hmm. I don't mind guys that talk a lot of crap at the table, want to put people off if they're playing around. Like, I know some people can find it very abrasive, and I guess like at the higher stakes as well, where people are trying to concentrate as much as possible, I can imagine it's very, very off-putting. But like, I think if you want poker to sort of grow a little bit, you need outlandish people to hate or people to love, either way, right? Like you need characters, and he's one of those characters that I think maybe gets too much hate for what he does, I would imagine. No, I don't mind him.
I think there's very interesting split between people that watch him and people that play with him. And for I mean, this is just purely anecdotal. There's no scientific research behind this, but from what I saw, particularly during the summer in the World Series, the people that were watching those streams loved him, and obviously the people that had to sit there and play with him, not so much. And I agree with you that it is, you need characters. I think the problem is that the people sitting with him are the people that pay for the game. Poker's a very unique sport / game in that sense. There are no spectators, essentially. I mean, if you go to, even at the World Series, until the final table of the main event, you might have 3 people, 4 people watching a final table, maybe 10 if you're lucky, and they don't pay to get in. There's no such thing as paying spectators. In football, rugby, cricket, whatever, your spectators can say, we pay for this. We're helping keeping this game alive, and our voice counts. You don't really get that in poker because the people that are keeping the game alive are the people that are having to play with him. So I think that's. I don't know what the answer is going forward, but it's a tricky situation because the people that are watching tend to really like him. The people that are playing don't, but the people that are watching aren't funding the game. Yeah, carry on, sorry.
Yeah, I think just with Matt, I think it's just his character. I just don't think he has an off button, and he just goes and goes and goes.
No,
like bunny. But
I think he's probably on the spectrum somewhere. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's putting this on. I think that's who he is.
Whereas, like in comparison to, like, say, like Will Kassouf, he's just an A-grade bellend. So,
well, I think there's a big difference between him and Kassouf. Yeah. And I was thinking about this earlier in the week. Cabral, generally speaking, there's these big generalizations, but Cabral generally punches up. Mm-hmm. Cabral, he will sit with the biggest players in the world, and and if he's picking on, I mean, poor old Alex Foxen. I mean, he really got it in the neck during the World Series. Every video I saw coming up on Instagram seemed to be Cabral giving Foxen some stick. But Foxen's a big boy, and he's got a big bankroll, and he should be able to handle it. The main difference for me between him and Kasuf is that Kasuf picks on people who he thinks are weak. Mm-hmm. I don't think there's an excuse for that. At least Cabral is taking on the big guns, and I've got much more respect for him because of that.
Yeah. I've got a personal anecdote actually. Last week I played with Kasuf.
Oh wow! Okay.
Oh dear!
And no, it's not what you think, to be honest. I mean, whether it's because it was just a 150 turbo or whatever, and he doesn't care about it, and like he doesn't need to try and gain the edge that he normally gets. He was actually fine at the tables. I mean, he did bust me and then goad me to buy him back into the tournament, but I ended up cashing and he didn't. So he actually made me money by goading me to come back in. So that was quite funny.
Did you do a chip count at the break just to make sure you didn't?
Actually, when I came back in, I was on a different table to him, so I didn't need to do that. But no.
The other difference as well, of course, between Cabral and Kasuf for me is the way they react when they get busted. Because Cabral takes it in good spirits and he laughs at himself as much as he laughs at other people, whereas Kasuf obviously goes off the deep end, as we saw at the World Series.
Yeah.
And I think, as a friend of mine says, if you can't catch, don't throw. And I think Kasuf proved over the summer that he can't catch.
Yeah, and I think you're right. Like, there's different lines as well, right? Like I feel like Cabral probably walks along it quite a lot, but as you say, he's not usually I've not seen him pick on anyone that's not a top level pro. If he's talking shit to someone, it's normally one of the top pros at the table, and whether that's him trying to gain an edge or whatever. But I guess that's why you've got tournament directors as well, right? I assume after the antics at the World Series by Kasuf this year, they'll probably be tightening up on speech play and stuff, I imagine, over the coming year, just because of what happened.
I imagine he's not getting an invite back either.
No, he'll probably get the opposite of an invite, I'd imagine.
The other big news coming out of Rosendal this week is Sean Deeb winning another bracelet. Obviously, he had the prop bet to lose all the weight, but it seems that he's put it back on now. So, do we think fat equals more equity and more bracelets?
Oh, that's cruel, Chris. That is cruel. I must admit, I've not seen any recent photos of him. But as long as he's happy, I couldn't care. That's the main thing. Whatever keeps Sean. I have to say, having met him a couple of years ago, he was someone that I really didn't know how he was going to be. He's got big personality. He's not afraid of speaking his mind. And I've got to say, out of all the kind of big name American players, I think he was my favourite. Mm-hmm. He was so kind to. I mean, some of them give the reporters no shrift, let alone short shrift. But Deeb, who, let's face it, plays virtually every event there, just could not give you enough of his time. He's a lovely, lovely guy, and I couldn't be happier for him.
Nice. I was just about to say maybe he's made enough money over summer that he's like, with the prop bet doesn't matter, I'm just going to be happy.
I mean, you can't beat the chicken fingers, so.
just on touching on the WSOPE, and I've seen a lot of talk this week about again, because it comes up every year with the online bracelets as well, and WSOP Europe about cheapening the bracelets. How do you guys, Liam first, how do you know what's
interesting? I was actually thinking about this earlier. Obviously you sent me like the running order for the show yesterday, and I was thinking about it, and I was like, I think even at the World Series now there's like a magnitude more bracelet events than there ever was before, right? Not to say that's a bad thing. I guess like it comes with the territory. When your tournaments grow in size, then obviously the rewards need to grow in size. But again, I think the WSOP Europe fields have been very, very small in comparison to what the WSOP over in Vegas fields are. So, and then again, online, it's a completely different game in some aspects than live. So maybe there needs to be a different distinction, or maybe just a distinction between the prizes rather than saying like, oh, you're cheapening a bracelet. Maybe it just needs to be a different thing,
Yeah,
I was listening.
I think it's getting
Go
to
on,
the point
Chris.
now where you just need to collect 6 tokens off the back of cornflakes pack to grab an oak bracelet now. So, but yeah, I think that there needs to be a distinction, and I think that they've got the 10k championship events. Like maybe they should be like there's championship bracelets, and then there's the other bracelets, and like it'll just give a bit of a division to the more prestigious events, I believe.
Yeah. I think they're going to have to do something like that. I mean, I was listening to, I think it's the Poker News podcast earlier, and I think Cabrel's event had, I could be wrong here, but I think they said 82 runners. And that doesn't feel like it's enough certainly not to be held in the same regard as someone who's, beaten 3,000 runners or 10,000 runners to get their World Series bracelet.
Yeah. And the other big question coming from WSOP Europe this week is like Rosvedov. Really, it's like
it
is in the middle of nowhere. I've been to the place 3 times, and it's not the easiest place to get to. It's at least a 2-hour journey to get there. You've literally only got the buffet or the supermarket as a choice for food. And you're just in the middle of a forest, and there's nothing around. And if you're not lucky enough to be in the hotel, you've got to do a massive commute. The last time I was there, I was staying in the hotel in the Czech Republic, but I had to drive into Germany to then get back into the Czech Republic to get to King's Casino. It was just bonkers. Do you think WSOP Europe should be held somewhere else?
I think if it wants to grow, definitely, because as you say, like people, if you can't get, let's say the hotel's fully booked and you're on the edge of going anywhere, and you're like, oh, I can go. You look, and even if you're a top level pro and you're like, oh, I'm not traveling an hour each day just to play poker, like, what's that going to add up in taxi costs, etc., as well as the travel time and lack of sleep or whatever. So I think taking it somewhere more accessible would definitely be the potential to then increase the field sizes and make it bigger games and what have you.
I've seen a lot of people commenting on it this week, and they're basically all speaking with one voice. I think everyone's saying the same thing, is that WSOPE should probably be held in a different venue each year. And even if that's not the case, then it's probably time to rest Rosvedov, because it's good. It's so difficult for players to get to, and it's not generating the fields that a WSOP event should.
Absolutely. And also the PokerStars EPT Malta has fired up this week. Has anyone been keeping tabs of what's happening over there?
No, I'm very sad because I've been to every EPT since EPT Paris last year. So this is the one I'm not.
Have you upset Spraggy? So. Have you said something that's upset Spraggy? Has he cut you off?
He's having his baby, isn't he? So
of course.
So he's not there. Yeah. So I'm back home.
Yeah, that must the baby must be imminent, because I remember Marley at the Irish Open, and I think we were starting to show then. So it can't. Yeah, it must be any day now.
Yeah, I'm not sure of the exact date. I just know it's around this time. So yeah, good luck to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So what has been your favourite EPT stop over the last couple of years?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Barcelona's always good. I really liked Cyprus last year, even though it was a bit of a strange location. If you've ever been, obviously it's like a all-inclusive resort that's got casinos in all over the place, and it just feels a bit strange, like being in like a holiday destination type hotel with a casino in the basement. I think just having everything there on site was quite nice. And then I'm not a fan of Monaco, just because I don't earn $3 million a year, so it's like just paying for a beer hurts.
Yeah. God, I can imagine.
But you would love Cyprus, though. I mean, literally everything is all inclusive. I was there.
That sounds dangerous. That sounds very, very dangerous for me.
Not only were all the drinks free, but there were good drinks as well. Like it was a Grey Goose, Glenfiddich. It was all high-end spirits. Even cigarettes were all inclusive as well.
Oh,
yeah.
I might
pretty
never
wild.
come back if I went there, though.
Yeah. You're right. That was dangerous because I ended up having a 100-meter foot race with Sebastian Huber at 5 a.m. in the middle of the road one morning. My hubris got the better of me, thinking I could outrun a triathlete.
I've never been that pissed.
Yeah, I did that night. Might have been the Grey Goose that they kept giving me.
Oh boy, I've got to get over there. This sounds made for me.
And just one more bit of news that I want to just bring up. I'm just going to bring a photo up now for the people who can see on the stream. There was the 25-50 series at Glasgow, Manchester and Stockton last week, and Stockton's my local casino, so I just wanted to give a shout out to the two lads at Chopped, which was Don Mahoney and Brett Angel, that they're photographed with Latif. They're chopped for £10,000 each, and two of the nicest poker players you'll ever get to meet, and Brett Angel. So, going on. Only joking, Brett. Love you, mate. So, is there anything else that's broke this week which you want to bring up, Dom?
Well, I did have to laugh when our first video went live on was it Friday morning, Thursday night, whichever day it was. I think it was Thursday night it went live. Almost exactly the same time that the Poker News podcast dropped with the headline, "Is this the end for poker content on YouTube?"
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't know if that was our fault, but it's not looking great, is it?
So it's actually, obviously, as I said, I've been working sort of behind the scenes in the poker industry, working with a lot of different players through the company I work for. Shout out to Game Plan and Mac at Game Plan for giving me the opportunity to work in poker first off. But yeah, so we work with a lot of different people. I'm trying to think when it was. I think it was like beginning of summer that YouTube just decided to start clamping down real hard, demonetizing people's videos and channels, but not even like the ones they were just posting. They were going back through the archives and randomly demonetizing things, crushing reach, crushing view counts. And I'm not sure what it could be. It just seems a bit of an odd timing. I know it probably coincides with where they're trying to clamp down on like actual gaming, i.e. like the slot streamers and the casino streamers and things. It's all just getting lumped in together.
I mean, I was listening to the Poker News podcast this afternoon because obviously that's where I saw the headline, and from what I could gather on that they don't seem to be clamping down on slots or sports betting. It seems to be targeted at poker players. But I mean, I've only got from their word for that. But it certainly sounds like for some reason poker players are being targeted, and not necessarily your other betting companies, the slots and the sports betting and stuff. And that it just makes no sense. There doesn't seem to be any consistency in what they're doing.
But it does seem to be that they're targeting the grey market more, so places like CoinPoker and like WTV Gold, even like the people who use a sweepstake model. It's like they're circumventing the rules, and I don't think YouTube want to be part of that. And we saw Ryan DePaula lose his channel over the World Series of Poker, and yeah, I can understand why they don't want to plug those type of companies, but when you've got legitimate companies like PokerStars and Party Poker and people who are working for them getting targeted, you need to.
But again, I think there's the lack of consistency because I can only go by what I listened to earlier. I don't know if it was Connor or Chad was saying that they've targeted Brad Owen, but there were other people who are promoting those grey area sites or the grey area clubs like the Texas Card Club or the Lodge or whatever, and their channels have been allowed to kind of go through kind of untouched, and then others seem to be targeted at random, and I think that's what's kind of upsetting a lot of people. I mean, obviously it's a reasonably small community anyway, the poker community, and it doesn't have a lot of outlets. So any kind of clamping down on that is bad news. But there doesn't seem to be any coherent plan. They just seem to be picking targets around it.
I think it must be some sort of AI program that's running in the background doing it. Just because it's like, even with the guys we work with, like, it's not every single video that goes out, and the difference between one video and the next is not apparent to us. So whether there's something in the transcript that has been auto generated that they go, there you go, bing, that's it, that we've got them, demonetize that video. But I know it's different in Brazil, for example, because in Brazil, poker's classified as a mind sport. So yeah. Brazilian poker videos, so I've been told, I haven't actually been to Brazil, but so I've been told, they show up in the sports feed in YouTube, like next to football videos, because of the regulatory classification.
That's interesting.
How's your Portuguese done?
Not very good. So it's so bad that I don't even know the phrase "not very good."
Yeah, but I was going to say something, but I don't know if you've seen some of these slot streamers on YouTube. They, like, for example, I think there's Bretsky.
Chris, I lived with you for 6 weeks in Vegas. Of course, I've seen the slot streamers.
Of course you have. There's a guy called Bretsky who also plays poker. I watched one of his videos recently, and he's doing like $500 spins, like in Vegas casinos, and it's like, where's he get? Is he generating that much money really, or is it just casinos paying him so he could play like these absolutely degen stakes? It's like, it just doesn't feel real, like, you know.
It doesn't feel real, and it doesn't tally with well-regarded poker streamers having their kind of viewership cut. There's obviously something going on. Excuse me. There's something going on behind the scenes that we're not party to, or we don't understand. I think Liam's probably right. There's probably some AI involved somewhere along the line, but it's all a bit shady and it doesn't reflect well.
No, I know it did sort of coincide around the same time the UK government did their new online safety bill. So whether that's got anything to do with it, I don't know. That could just be a coincidence.
Yeah, but these guys are all Americans, aren't they? So whatever it's happening over here is happening there as well, but not, as you say, necessarily in other markets.
No, I just know that bill gives the UK government the power to target American companies as well.
Ah, okay.
So there's the UK government have the ability to impose a massive sanction on an American company, which doesn't make sense really, but yeah, I don't know. That's just a coincidence. I don't know if it's actually real. I don't want to be throwing conspiracy theories out there.
Liam covering his arse here.
Allegedly.
But, as a degen sports gambler, don't get me started on the gambling commission. It's just making it hard for profitable sports bettors as well at the moment. And bookies are also bringing in facial recognition for people going to shops placing bets. It's getting a bit Orwellian out there in the gambling world.
Yeah, it is.
I don't think that's reserved to just gambling.
No, absolutely not.
That's very true. That's very true. Anyway, shall we leave the depressing stuff and move on to the more surreal, shall we, Chris? One of the strangest poker adverts, certainly that I've ever seen, cropped up this week with GG's new ambassador apparently being Johnny Vegas.
Yeah,
how do we feel about that?
This is absolutely bonkers. I mean, I have never associated Johnny Vegas with any form of gambling or betting, apart from his last name is Vegas, which I'm pretty sure is what GG Poker have done. I mean, really,
do you think the work experience boy was just Googling Vegas and he came up and thought, he'll do.
Yeah, but quite possibly, I think we would have been better off getting the monkey from the PG Tips advert.
It'd have cost less.
Yeah,
he would have cost less. There would have been a better, idea on that.
It is a strange one, isn't it? Because he's not even exactly very relevant in UK culture at the moment either, is he? Unless I've missed something that's gone on with him. But he's not really, like, he seems like he's been out of the limelight for a while, right?
Yeah, he's very. I mean, God, I love him. Don't get me wrong, but he's very He's very Gen X, isn't he? He's not exactly the TikTok generation.
Yeah.
I would love to know what conversations went on behind the scenes before that's who they settled on. I mean, his agent must be
best agent in the
world.
Yeah. But coming soon to Party Poker, Vic Reeves as Brendan.
I could go for that. Yeah. I mean, I think it was Barry Carter who I first saw post about it before I actually got the advert coming up on my feed. And I genuinely thought he was joking. I thought it was something he'd kind of put together for one of his memes. But no, it's real. And good luck to him. It's fantastic. But it has come out of left field. There's no doubt about that.
Okay, so as always, we're asking for your stories to come in. Nothing's coming this week, unfortunately, but we would love to hear your travel horror stories.
From our 3 subscribers?
Well, yes. We've got 36, I think, on our Facebook group now, so slowly climbing the ladder, you know.
Yeah, I know most of them, and they're lazy bastards. They're never gonna.
Yeah, we might have to try and nick some merch at Birmingham and see if we can give some away and encourage a few stories to come through.
Yeah, everyone loves a bit of free merch.
Yeah,
he says wearing his iPhone hoodie.
Yeah. So as I said, we'd like to see stories like travel horror stories. Also, what's the biggest clanger you've made at a poker table or in a casino? And also, we'd love to hear when something just went completely wrong, like at the poker table. Like, for example, did someone flip a table over, or something crazy which has happened, which is completely against the run of the mill.
I think Lefty will have something on that. If hopefully we'll get him on. But you've seen that video. Yeah, we'll leave it there for now. So I'm sure he can elaborate.
I saw something pretty wild at EPT Paris last year as I was filming. I was just filming on a table with Sprague, then heard a little bit of commotion on one of the tables behind me. I turned around and some gentleman was sort of looked like he was falling asleep in his chair. But I don't know what he'd done on the break because everyone had just come back from break. But whatever he'd done on the break did not agree with him, and he decided to projectile vomit all over the table, all over himself. Fell on the floor. Like, he wasn't. I don't think it was a medical emergency because he sort of like came round a little bit, got up, and then the tournament directors were having a complete meltdown over what to do. Because it went everywhere.
Oh God! Did Toby Stone try to do an exorcism? Or
But they kept playing on the. They obviously changed tables and clean. I assume they would clean the chips down and stuff.
I wouldn't. I don't know.
Keep them in play.
Oh my God! What's the place in Vegas? The Orleans. Oh my God! Those chips have not been cleaned for the last 5 years. I swear. No. They are like, you don't even have to pick them up. You just put your hand on top of them and they come back up. I mean, they are disgraceful.
I think they may be closer to 20 years, to be honest, because it's like Yeah, but speaking of the Orleans, I'll tell you a quick travel horror story. So, first time I went to Vegas was in 2013, and I won a tournament at the Orleans. I won the PLO8 Stud 8 Mix, and thought, happy days. And I was out there with my brother Mike, and we did 5 days in Vegas, and then we went to New York to do 4 days there. So I had a great time in Vegas, flew to New York, landed at JFK, got a cab into our hotel, get into the hotel and tried to check in, and the receptionist said, sorry, we don't have your reservation. I was like, pardon? We don't have your reservation. So like, they pulled up my name. I booked a hotel for the wrong weekend. I booked the weekend previous. So
that's straight out of my playbook. Yeah. That is.
So they charged me for one night, and for the missed booking, but got refunded to the rest of it. But that weekend, there was a massive march in Central Park for AIDS awareness. So literally every hotel was booked in New York, apart from 3 or 4. And we ended up staying at the Hampton Hilton on Times Square, and it was $550 a night back in 2013. That was all my poker winnings gone. Yeah, I was not a happy camper for us, but remaining a couple of days in New York.
Oh dear, I hope you didn't touch the minibar.
Oh, there wasn't a minibar, thank God.
550 quid a night and they don't give you a minibar?
And,
That's a disgrace.
We're on the 62nd floor. It's just like...
Oh boy.
Wasn't good. Have you got any travel horror stories yourself, Liam?
Yeah, I do have a couple. I'm just trying to think what I want to divulge.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, you've got to change the names to protect the guilty.
yeah, I mean, there's to be fair, there's nothing, considering the amount of travel, there's nothing not like that, not like I've missed a hotel and had to pay an extra, God knows how much it was, but it doesn't sound like it was a cheap one. I thought, like, most recently in Barcelona was probably one of the worst ones. So went on a night out at the end of my stay there and probably got a little bit too merry, ended up in a club in Barcelona. Was outside at about 3 a.m. I think it was, and I was like trying to figure out where I was, how close the hotel was. It was round the corner. I should have known this because it was literally, I was at the back of the hotel where the club was. And then my phone got stolen from me.
Oh no.
So I jumped in a taxi. By the time I got to the hotel, I forgot that my phone had been stolen, and then sort of came around and was like, "Where's my phone? I need to pay you." I was just like, because I didn't take my wallet out. I was like, I'll leave my wallet in the room with like the rest of my stuff. And I was like, oh, I can't pay you, buddy. Sorry. And just jumped out into the hotel, ditched him, went upstairs and was going home the next day. I think my taxi was picking me up at 8:30. God knows how I woke up, but I woke up at 8:20 on the dot, bolt right up out of bed. Luckily, I was still clothed, so I didn't have to worry about
the same guy.
No,
Thank God for that.
no, but I rushed, threw all my stuff into the suitcase. Was like, remembered my phone got stolen. Was like, oh crap. Jumped in the taxi ride to the airport. I was like, all right, sweet. I got my taxi. It'll be fine. I'm gonna be getting home. I'll be getting the flight home. At least I've not missed that. That would have been real bad. And then I go to pay for the taxi. Doesn't work. I take my other card out, that doesn't work. So I'm like, all right, I'll just pay on my credit card. I'm sort of worrying. I'm like, oh, I don't know what's happened. And it's not until I get to the UK, I plug my laptop in, got my banking apps, and both my bank accounts that were on my phone had been completely drained. I ordered about 10 taxis between the hours of 4 and 5 a.m. Totaling like £600, I think it was.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah, which kind of sucked. So that's quite a horror story. Luckily, like the transactions were very, very suspect. Ordering that many taxis in such a short space of time, that I did get the money back sort of a few weeks later. But yeah, there you go. It was a heart attack for a little while. I'm also wondering how the hell they did it. It was just the ones that were on my Google Wallet or whatever. So luckily, I didn't have my main bank account. They were just like ones I top up to spend money.
Christ, that does not sound good at all.
No, but at least I got my plane home. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Imagine trying to pay for a plane ticket with no money.
Oh boy, oh boy.
Yeah.
So, have you got any stories to tell, Don?
No, not from the travel. Like I said last week, I know I'm jinxing myself now. I know I am, but I really haven't had any problems traveling with poker. I had the slight scare on the runway last year, and that's literally it. So yeah, expect me to have a big one soon. But, yeah.
Yeah, where are you going next? I'll turn up just to give you a story.
I'm scared to walk to the shops, to be honest, at this point. It's got to be around the corner somewhere.
But I think there's a travel story that we can tell, though, Dom. I mean, I was blown away by this fact, but this year at the Irish Open was the first ever time Dom stayed at a hotel.
Yeah.
How many years have you been on this earth again, Dom?
It's not quite strictly true. I've spent a night in a Travelodge, but I've never been to like a proper hotel where there's more than like 30 rooms and where people come and knock on the door and say housekeeping and stuff. I don't know, mate. It's just not the world I've moved in. And there I was, 53-year-old man asking Christopher, how do I do this? What's this key card for? What do I do?
Where have you stayed before? Do you just carry a tent around with you?
Yeah, usually. I do like roughing it. And of course, when my first kind of trip in poker was when we did the World Series in 23. And that we got an Airbnb for that. So that all of that was kind of taken care of. And I don't know how it's happened, but I'd avoided hotels up until sort of Easter this year, and I had to get Chris to hold my hand.
Yeah, I had to like baby step him in the for the buffet breakfast in the morning. I didn't realise that you could just help yourself to everything.
I was scared to touch anything. It's like I've heard horror stories about the minibar. It's like, if I eat this sausage, am I going to get charged 20 quid?
Yeah, but by the end of the stay, you were just like pilfering like 6 sausages, 4 bacon to a sandwich later on.
Absolutely, mate. I was to be honest, and you guys will know this, but when you go and work those things, you don't get paid till the end. And they're not cheap places to eat and drink. No. The beers are kind of 7, 8 quid, maybe more. Food is 10, 12, 15 quid, even for like a burger. And then you're working there for 12 weeks. When you're working there for 12 days and you haven't been paid, you get to the end of those 12 days and you are really on fumes. And those sausages wrapped up in a bit of tissue at the breakfast bar, they all help.
You're at the Irish Open this year, were you, Liam?
Yes, I was. Yeah. I had a really good time this year.
Yeah, what did you think of it?
I love. You know what? It's probably one of my favourites to work, especially because working most of the tournaments that I have worked previously have been with PokerStars, and when you're away at a PokerStars event as a PokerStars employee or adjacent, you're not allowed to play anything, even the cash games. So obviously the Irish Open is affiliated. It's not a PokerStars event per se. So it's one of the only events where I actually get to jump in and play a little bit of poker when I'm away. But yeah, it's also, the environment's incredible. The series is really well run. Everyone seems to be there for a very good time with some poker in the middle.
It blows my mind how well run it is, considering how much Guinness is consumed over those 12 days. I mean, it is phenomenal.
Yeah, they need to get some stats on it, how much Guinness is actually consumed. I'd love to see the numbers.
I have asked. I'm planning to do a piece this year on the Irish Open in numbers, and that is one of the first things I asked, was how much Guinness do they actually import in.
Yeah, we'll have to get one of those totalizers like on one of the screens.
That's a great idea.
A running camera with all the packets.
That's a fantastic idea.
It's got to be at least 5 figures.
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Easy. Yeah. That's probably 5 figures a day, I'd imagine.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Yeah, I mean, I think Dom was on double figures each day. So.
Yeah. You're not wrong.
But it's crazy, yeah. They've got obviously the main tournament room, and then that cash game room is 30, 40 tables, and that's full every night pretty much. Like, it's wild the amount of people
it doesn't stop. I mean, the latest that I finished reporting on one of the tournaments was 6:45 in the morning, and I nipped into the cash thing on the way up to the balcony to kind of do my last kind of report, and there's still people in there at that time.
Yeah.
It just basically it starts on whatever day it is, the Wednesday, and there's someone there playing poker for the next 12 days.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Right, well, I know Dom's eager to get off because he's got a first satellite for a seat at the Mini Main of Birmingham.
I have. What's the time?
It's
Oh,
10
Christ,
to 9.
yeah, it's getting close. Yeah. My dogs are getting restless as well. I expect you heard that.
Was that the dogs? I thought that was you.
Yeah, so if we're going to wrap up, just a reminder that I'm collecting some names for the APAT series of poker names. I'm going to contact Jamie Walden this week and try and get his blessing for doing it, because it is his idea. He did it at the World Series. I'll put some links when I do the Spotify thing. I'll put some links in the show notes. I love saying that; it makes me sound really professional. But I'll put some links in the show notes so that people can go and see his Instagram and how that works. But he got 32 players with the best names he could find and got people to vote on them. So we're trying to do that with players that weren't at the World Series. I forgot. I've been playing with this guy, one of my oldest and best friends in poker, Richard Tongue. We all call him Rich, but obviously online he's Dick Tongue. And he's got many comments about it over the years, and he's had to say, no, that is my actual name. And to be honest, even we don't call him Dick because we don't live in 1953. But to be honest, the name Rich Tongue is pretty bad. So he's going. We had Lars Hole last week. Mm-hmm. We've got Rich Tongue, and I'm collecting. They don't all have to be rude or silly. I've found Matt Leather, who's an APAT player, which is what my shoes are. And another guy who's English, but his name's Zygmantus Jockus, which is just a beautiful name. So it doesn't have to be crass or lowest common denominator. We're just out there. We're going to try and collect the best 32 names we can. Like I said, I'll get in touch with Jamie. I'll put a date on it and try and then we'll draw up 32, maybe in 3 or 4 weeks' time, and we can have a vote on it. And the 5 people that follow us can cast their vote.
But not a poker player. I just want to share my brother-in-law's given name. Like, he was given the name Richard Edward, so he gets dickhead. So.
Yeah, but that's all I've got, Chris. To be honest, that's more than enough for me to work with this week. As I said, I was I was quite shocked by how much work there was to do putting this all together and editing it. And hopefully I've learned enough last week that I could do it a bit quicker this week. But I'm going to have my hands full as it is.
Okay. So we'll leave it there for this week, and please like, subscribe and follow, press the bell, do whatever you need to do, and join our Facebook page as well. Drop us an email at beananddomshow@gmail.com.
And if you haven't seen Liam's videos, do check them out, because they are very, very
absolutely
funny.
Brilliant. You'll be 100% entertained by him. Especially the Caitlin Clementson one is absolutely hilarious. And
the poker photographer one as well. When the players spot the photographer, that's a great one. Yeah, but long may it continue, Liam. And
thank you, guys.
Yeah, well, thank you for joining us this week. And as I say, I hope you don't get too big to come on again.
Oh no, I'll be back. Maybe with a suit and a cigar next time. Who knows?
Yeah, the GPI award in the background.